Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
Good.
Hey. So, we're gathered.
Hello?
Oh, hey, sorry,
Hi.
I didn't hear you there.
I'm JizzyJ.
Oh, oh, JizzyJ. Well, welcome. This is my podcast, the JizzyJ and the Gweeb in the morning and evenings. If you're not
Wait,
familiar,
that must mean it's 11:57. So
right
you're
on the
telling
dot.
me that it's the morning and the evening?
Well, it's not the morning yet, but it will be very soon.
I think I understand.
So,
But just in case I don't, let me just repeat it to myself. My name is JizzyJ and the Gweeb. This is the JizzyJ and the Gweeb in the morning and evenings at exactly 11:57 coming at you. Welcome to the podcast. Today we'll be having a very special discussion. You might wanna lie down for this one so you can get in a right state of mind. Um, why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers out there what the topic we'll be discussing today.
so today we're going to be discussing a very serious topic. We're going to be talking about sleep renewal and basically just the myths and the facts that surround sleeping. Um, so to get us started, to
You're
get
gonna
us,
wanna tune in.
oh yeah, this is going to be something that you're going to want to pay a lot of attention to because the details, is where it's at.
Yeah,
Uh,
lots of details. So why don't you start us off with the origin here?
so, uh, just to kind of set the scene, me personally, I haven't slept in 16 and a half years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of traces back to sleeping. What is sleep? Why do we sleep? And how does sleep? So basically, these are kind of the questions that we're going to be answering throughout the podcast today. And the first one, what is sleep? So sleep,
Yeah.
um, you know, ba- what the scientists and the experts say sleep is they say that it's a way for your body to kind of recharge and re-heal and basically get ready for the next day because you constantly wear yourself down every day by doing activities, spending energy, and you need sleep to be able to survive. At least that's what they want you to think. um,
Yeah, and that's the literal definition. I mean, you're obviously you're saving energy, and this goes back to the time of uh, when animals used to rule the world, and you know mammals would sleep during the nights when the predators are out, which gives them high chance of survivability. But today we're not going to be talking about the predators that are lurking out in the scenes while we are sleeping. About the the things that cause us to sleep in the first place.
right. So they're also a certain type of predator. I wouldn't say they're the predator that you're familiar with or that you've heard about before. And the reason that you probably haven't heard of these predators, we'll call them, we'll just call them predators for now until we get into greater detail. But basically, um, how the factual theory is that sleep is actually not needed for human beings. It's actually something that was, taught to our children, taught to the younger generations in order to give a false perception of what's going on, and it basically lures you into this state of unconsciousness, relaxation, and vulnerability. And the reason that this is taught to us is actually because you know how do I say this? This is really sleep. Sleep is a very the truth is very hard to put into words because it's almost
Yeah,
unbelievable in a story
it's
like
something you're born with. It's like Santa Claus. You know, people are taught to believe it, and we just go with it as we're kids until eventually we grow up and we understand the truth. And the thing we're talking about today, many, if not all humans, never really grew out of, and they still believe. Something you really need to experience the truth about, and before you can, like understand what's actually going on.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct, JizzyJ. It's something that we need to be aware of, and it's something that we need to take into account more, and enact social responsibility and inform others about how sleep is actually very dangerous for us human beings. Because here it goes. Here's the groundbreaking news. But sleep was actually just created by sleep paralysis demons in order to receive more clients for them. They want you to sleep so that they could haunt you, because if nobody's sleeping, who do they haunt?
Exactly, and this haunting, it goes way back. It's not really a survival instinct, as much as it's sport to them. So they get a high off this, and I would say this is in the sleep paralysis demon society. It's accepted as normal, and it's something that every demon, they as they're coming into adulthood, this is something they do to pass the time. So this is basically all they know, and it picked us to prey on it as the superior species, most complex of, and so they have tapped in cortexes many centuries ago, and they've been evolving with us through our subconscious.
Right, yeah, that's actually a really good point. They evolve with us because, some people, they've evolved to sleep less and less, or even more and more. And this is both good and bad for them, because, when you sleep less, you go through your REM cycle faster, you end up seeing your sleep paralysis demon quicker. So that's good for them because they don't have to invest as much time. But also the longer sleep sessions are also good for them because you go through more cycles of REM sleep, which means that you're more likely to see them more times in one night. But this actually brings up a really important question that I don't have the answer to, and I don't know if you do. Maybe actually, before I even ask this question, I know your grandfather. He had a lot of interesting books and a lot of interesting material. Is this something that he may have had the knowledge of?
Oh yeah, so my grandfather actually he did write a book about this. It was up in there in one of the boxes of books, um, and I recently actually I looked through it because we were getting into this topic, and because I don't really go back to the books unless I'm really interested, but I found out that my grandpa is actually a lucid warrior, which was it was a tribe that was formed in ancient India actually, and they've been living alongside us. They actually, this is where I learned about the demons. In fact, so these lucid warriors, they actually don't sleep. Well, they sleep, but they do not sleep in the sense that we sleep. So they do not recharge um, their energy because they are always full of energy. So they basically meditate throughout the day, and that's their sleep. That's how they recharge, which is what I would preach to all of you out there. It's
Mm-hmm.
something easily adapted to away from sleep. If you just take the time to learn the rules of it. He was he went into dream confront these demons. He met lots of them. He wrote them down. Like what they look like, what their thoughts, the activities that they would go through throughout their lives. And yeah, he was a warrior. He wrote down all the demons that he has. I'm just very proud of him because I did not know of the crisis that we are facing, and it just goes to show that there are warriors out there that are fighting for us, that battles that we don't even like, comprehend.
Yeah, totally. And I just want to say that your grandfather is really brave for that because being a lucid warrior, I'm actually familiar with them slightly, but I know it's not an easy task to do. It's not easy to become a lucid warrior. You know, some people may try to become lucid in their warrior status, but it just doesn't fall through some of the time. And then even once you do become a lucid warrior, you know, it's actually a very dangerous role to play because
Oh
when you try to fight back these demons, they come at you stronger than ever. You know, that it's like a whole, it's a war, and
yeah,
um,
and you're basically attacking the whole hive. If you attack one demon, that triggers the attack of, say, billions of demons, and there's about uh two and a half demons per person. So you could see that's about 14 billion demons. You know, on their way to whoever is attacking one of their own. So it's one thing to, be lucid, and it's another thing to actually fight in your dreams, which is something I'm learning. I'm learning to do, and it is very dangerous.
oh yes, you know, it's crazy because your grandfather. It's amazing that he was able to survive in any encounters he had with these demons and actually live to write about it. There's actually not very many known texts that describe this phenomenon. It's usually carried on by word of mouth. And the reason for this is that actually most of the well known and well respected scientists that study sleep and, you know, put out scientific journals and inform the public about sleep, they're actually um, these demons disguised as human beings. So they're actually here with us, living in person, you know, propagating false information to the public in order to continue their cycle of farming off of you every night, getting high. And you know, the more scared you are, the more high they get. So it's in their
Oh yeah.
best interest to make you think that sleep is, you know, where you're the safest, because when you think you're the safest, when something scares you, that's when it's the scariest because you think you're safe. So
That's where they get you.
yeah. So before we continue, I just want to say to our viewers out there, if you're thinking about sleeping tonight, do not renew your sleep subscription. Please just don't renew. Just don't ever think about sleep renewal again. Um, you are not contractually obligated to continue in your sleeping, and I highly advise you to just stop that habit as of tonight. You know, just don't even go to sleep. Just stay up and just never go to sleep again. And as JizzyJ mentioned earlier, take time throughout the day. Notice how we said day and not nighttime. It's actually very important. But take time throughout the day to meditate and kind of understand what's going on and this war that's being waged inside of our minds and behind the curtains of reality.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be tough. It's they're designed to they're pretty intelligent, and once you start sleeping, you're gonna notice some side effects. Now, these side effects, obviously, um, a lot like extended periods of sleep deprivation. They can cause tiredness, hallucinations, and all these negative side effects. These things are all already things that humans experience on the daily. Now, we were taught, to by these demons to remove these from our reality, from our conscious reality, and implement them into our dream reality, which is something very toxic to our psyche. We're supposed to take everything with a grain of salt. Like these experiences and nightmares that we have. You're really supposed to experience them night and day, so you don't get like one half of nightmare, one half of a good dream. No, it's supposed to be all equilibrium, and this is what the demons are trying to change. They're trying to throw you off balance, so you think that you're on the right path, but you're actually subjected to their form of torture and harvest. And so basically, if you want to see these demons, you're gonna have to stay awake for over 5 years, and this could get pretty troubling, especially by the fourth year. You're gonna want to hold on just for one more, but by then, they will start to visit you because they realize that you're not sleeping, and they know that that you know. And at
Mm-hmm.
this point, this is the most crucial. You're basically free at this point, you know, and this is where things are going to be very tough, very difficult for you. You're going to start having dreams when you don't even want to sleep. You're going to start hallucinating during the day, and then you're going to start having nightmares almost every night. And you just want to stick through these because just know in your heart that these aren't you that are causing these. These are literally the demons implementing these in your mind to get you to conform.
Yeah, and that's actually really important to realize because what sleep paralysis demons do, especially every night while you're sleeping, is that they try to combine their reality with ours because we have two separate realities. You know, they have their reality where they live. They're among us
And
right
then the
now.
dream world.
Right. They're among us right now in their reality. And we're among ourselves in our reality. And our realities aren't necessarily intertwined. But when you sleep, it's giving them a chance to kind of weave the fabrics together and slowly but surely combine our realities. And that's why, you know, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't move, um, and you see this sleep paralysis demon, that that's the fabrics coming together, and you're not supposed to be awake to see this, and they call this sleep paralysis. You're actually not, your brain isn't, it's not created to be able to understand what's happening, and that's why we have lucid warriors obviously to come in and kind of combat this. But that's why it's really important not to sleep, is because during this time is they're trying to connect to our reality so they could rule us. um, and so what they've done is they've created this social construct of sleep. And you mentioned earlier, the side effects of not sleeping, like drowsiness, irritability, stuff like that. When you don't sleep, you actually don't, these aren't issues that are common to people who don't sleep, but the reason that you feel them when you don't sleep enough is because you're conditioned to. So that's exactly how they want you to feel. So what you have to do is just spend 5 years, as JizzyJ mentioned, not sleeping, and this will retrain your body to the natural, to be more natural and just not require sleep at all, just require meditation. But yeah, during your fourth year, it gets really tough because the demons start coming after you. They realize what you're doing, and they don't want it to happen because the less people that sleep, the less they can weave together our realities.
Yes, and they come at you hard, like we've been reiterating. They on that fourth year, that's when you really start to break the cycle, and they take you into their world. This is where you, instead of waking up in the middle of the night, not being able to move, you're gonna wake up in their reality, being able to move, but not really knowing where to go, and um, and this could be very terrifying for some people. Now, Gweeb, why don't you go ahead and explain on your fourth year coming to an end when you exactly where they take took you. This one's
Oh
pretty crazy, guys.
yeah. So this is very long time ago. Like I said, I've been awake for 16 and a half years. So I'm a kind of an experienced awaker at this point. But
Mm-hmm.
basically during my fourth year, it was very, I went through all the trials and the tribulations. you know um, I had constantly, um, during during the daytime, I would constantly have daydreams, as some people call them, but they were actually night dreams that were happening to me during the day. So as you can imagine, this was really scary because you're awake, you're in this reality, but reality is kind of unfolding, and you're seeing behind the curtain of reality, in real time. So you're seeing things that don't exist, that aren't real. that are fake.
What
All
what are some of these things that you experienced?
Personally, what I experienced is I seen um, basically like doors that opened up to new dimensions. Every time I opened up a door, it would take me to, this whole separate dimension. And I'm just at a loss for words here because most of these dimensions that I would enter during the day, I just had no idea. Like, I couldn't comprehend what was happening. It might have been like five, six, seven, eight different dimensions all in one. And, our brains are only made to understand 3 to 4 dimensions. So as you can imagine, this was just like really disorienting to me. And during these times, I would just black out. I wouldn't know what would happen. And I would, find myself to be okay again, just like in the last position I remember myself before walking into the door. And it's just no time had passed. So this was just really scary. The demons would start coming after me. I would see them staring at me. I got really paranoid at this point. Just like wherever I would go, I would just be in the grocery store. I'm seeing these demons poke their little heads out or whatever demons have.
They're
You
just
know,
in the grocery store, just like buying, shopping, and stuff.
yeah, but the thing is that they just stare at you. They don't say
So that
anything.
an
They don't.
actual grocery store, they constructed for you.
Right. That's absolutely 100% correct. And it wasn't even just the grocery stores, entire days at a time where reality was not reality. I was living in their reality at some points. And basically,
So you were living your life in their reality. You were going grocery shopping.
right, I was going grocery shopping, I was getting gas, I was getting my hair cut. I was doing everything that, normal people do on a daily basis. And, you know, but but the thing is some days this reality wasn't mine, it was theirs. So every single person, everyone would have their eyes on me and would just not stop staring at me. And during this time I'm still going through the withdrawals of sleep. I'm still trying to retrain my brain to not need sleep. And um, it was very maddening. I felt like I was going crazy, but I knew I just had to push through to reawaken myself and to kind of figure out what the world really is. Um, so that's why I think personally that when the demons come to you to kind of renew your subscription for sleep, do not do not give in to their sleep renewal. Um, by If you don't, you'll save a lot of time, you'll save a lot of energy, and you'll possibly, most likely, save a lot of money by refusing to renew your
Yeah.
sleep subscription with the demons. And by the time you reach your 5th year of no sleep, you'll realize that the world starts to make a lot more sense. Every day at a time, you start realizing more things. You start putting the puzzle pieces together, and you kind of start to understand the world in a better light.
Yeah, and they the demons are they're very intelligent. Like I keep saying, any dream that you've ever had is a demon constructing what they want you to see in your dream, what they think is normal. So they have very good visions of what we want. And I remember on my 4th year, I actually I was going to a bowling alley um, with some friends, and at that point into the renewal, and I've already canceled my subscription about like almost every month. I canceled the automatic subscription, and they keep pestering me for like manuals every month if I want, like asking me in my sleep. But you have to you stay strong and just realize that this isn't something that you need. This is something they want you to have. So so I ignored it for a time, and I went to the bowling alley, and what I started to realize was, like you said, everybody's looking at you, and on my first time I ever threw the bowling ball, instead of it going straight into the like a normal bowling ball should, it actually went up, And this is the exact moment that I realized I was dreaming, because bowling balls that would defy the laws of gravity, and I shouldn't have done that.
All right,
And
that
at
that
that
even
point,
just defies the laws of bowling balls.
exactly, yeah, and I knew I was in a dream, but so what actually really terrified me at that moment, after I realized I was in a dream, I did not hear like any crash or anything. Like, where did the bowling ball go? Where what what happened to it, And so I looked up, and lo and behold, there was no ceiling in the bowling alley. Um, and I realized there's no even any walls. So we're kind of outside. It's an outdoor bowling alley, which I've never heard of, and I didn't expect. But at that time, after I looked up, I looked down, and I was not in a bowling alley anymore. I was in a warehouse, and it was very dark. I did not know how I got there. This is where it started to get really terrifying.
Wait, wait,
I
wait,
started
wait.
hearing whispering.
Hold on. I'm
I
sorry
started.
to interrupt, but this is a really important question because it could have to do with the dream and the paralysis demons. But what kind of warehouse were you in? Like what was the thing being housed?
It was an Amazon warehouse.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I didn't know if I didn't really see the Amazon sign, but I could hear as I was walking through. It was very dark, but I could hear conveyor belts. I saw boxes everywhere, so I just assumed it was Amazon. I saw smiles on the boxes, so
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was very dark, and um, I was just trying to find my way. I was lost at first. I was very scared of because all the voices, so I started to run, and I saw a light at the end of the warehouse. So obviously, go to the light. And what I found at the end was an office with, and something was at the desk, which was not, and it wasn't exactly human. I don't know how to exactly describe what it looked like. The best description I could give is if you took like a bat, and you took the wings of the bat, but you put it on a tortoise.
Mhm.
Now the tortoise, it had its shell, it had its tail, the face was human with the wings, um, and it wasn't exactly scary. More of like, it looked very, I don't know, it looked welcoming. It looked like a creature that I could trust, and it's very I know that doesn't sound very you know it doesn't sound great with the description I gave, but as soon as I walked into that room, I just knew that this thing was on my side. And lo and behold, it stands up and it bows to me, which I didn't expect at first. I thought it was gonna, jump at me or something, but no, it gave me a courtesy bow. It signaled me to take a seat on one of the chairs in the back, and it started talking to me in a very low monotone voice. Um, and it basically described what's the situation I was in. It was congratulating me at first, for making it this far, and this is what I've heard in a lot of people that get past year four. They do have some sort of spirit um, that you know helps them understand. And I did not know about the spirit at first. I heard about it in my grandfather's books, and I didn't know it was true. But I was very very glad to meet it because he told me all about reality and how Amazon is actually a front for the sleep paralysis demons,
Wow.
and they send boxes to different houses. And this delivery package system gives time for people to stay inside and to sleep longer.
Mhm. Yeah, see now you kind of understand where my question about what kind of warehouse this is was coming from
Yeah,
because
yeah, and
because
that
this is
and that
actually a
did blow
really
me away
yeah.
because I didn't realize how involved they actually are into our society. I thought they separated. I thought they were trapped in their realm, of existence until they can bridge us in our dreams. But no, can actually go through somebody's dreams into our own reality and control it through corporation.
Yeah, so the reason for that is actually, you know, like I mentioned earlier, uh, every night they're weaving their reality together with ours. And if you think about it, you know, humans have been sleeping for thousands of years. So these demons have had thousands of years to kind of start merging their reality with ours. So it's not too surprising that these demons are a part of our lives. They're doing their best to kind of force sleep on people, force people to be at home, force people to be close to their beds, and um, yeah. So some demons are able to fully join our world, and they take on the appearance of humans. Most likely, the theory right now. This isn't actually scientifically proven because uh, the sleep demons they run science. They kind of have a monopoly on science, but basically they take over the body of the person who they were attacking during their sleep. So I'm assuming that Jeff Bezos was one of these people
Oh
who
yeah,
just loves sleep. He probably slept all the time, and they were just able to infiltrate his body and become him. So basically, what we're saying is Jeff Bezos is a sleep paralysis demon.
yes. He went to sleep and he never woke up,
Mm-hmm.
but something else woke up inside him, which was not him.
No. But that actually brings me to a really crazy point I want to make. You mentioned like this spirit animal or this spirit that you meet during your journey of no sleep. Um, and I actually never met my own. Sorry, I never met my own spirit to kind of guide me along the way. I just had to make my way
Oh,
on my
you went solo.
yeah,
Yeah,
I had to make my way
that's
on my
heavy.
own, and yeah, it was very terrifying. I wish I had somebody to kind of tell me it was okay, congratulate me, tell me what was going on, and kind of
Yeah,
point.
and he actually had a cake for me too. Like, you just don't expect it, but
Not
it,
did it have any
it, it was
did it have some
good.
candles on it?
No, it did not have candles, but was red velvet
Oh,
with
okay.
chocolate icing, and yeah, I was I mean I never expected anything, but obviously when I saw the cake, I expected there to be candles, but he did have balloons, so I appreciated it. You know?
Yeah, no, that's really cool. No, but it's actually really good that it didn't have candles because candles on a cake in a dream are kind of signifying that the demons are close by, and they're kind of feeding at that time. They're harvesting off of you.
Oh
And
yeah, and also one thing that we do want to warn our viewers about: if you ever do see candles on a cake, just want to let you know that you are in fact dreaming. Candles on cake don't exist in real life. They defy the laws of physics, and it's just something that you need. You're born to not know.
right, yeah, it's so ingrained in your dream memory. Like when you wake up, you don't normally remember your dreams, or so the sleep paralysis demons say. But yeah, they've created this fabric that you know candles belong on cake, and that's their way of kind of seeing who sleeps on a regular basis are the people who have thoughts about candles on cake running through their minds. So what one thing that they do to kind of pressure you into renewing your sleep, at least once a year, is that when you're sleeping, they put candles on birthday cake. I if you haven't slept in a long time, or if you've never slept, you kind of flinch at this. You're like, why would you ever put candles on a birthday cake? And
Yeah, you don't really question it before, but now that I see it every time, like I miss it obviously, because I was born to accept it, but it's just something you're gonna have to give up.
and it's actually very dangerous that if you see candles on any type of cake. So just if you're the type of person that sleeps on a regular basis right now, next time it's your birthday or it's somebody else's birthday and there's candles on cake, fucking pick that cake up and just throw it on the ground. Do not, under any circumstances, blow out the candles or let anybody else blow out the candles, because what this does is it kind of signifies to the sleep paralysis demons that, yeah, you do want to renew your sleep for at least another month.
Yeah, once you the candles are out and there's no more flame, you basically subscribed for another month, and you can't really go back on that. It's a no non-refundable. So so yeah, that's a very good thing to do actually. I always thought about just running away, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
standing up and just booking it out of where you are. But obviously, the candles are still going to be on the cake, no matter
Right.
where your position is
Right.
in that reality. So you just want to go ahead and get rid of the cake entirely to get rid of the candles off the out of the equation.
Right, yeah. So the most important thing you could do, the safest thing you could do, is just toss that cake. Just toss it, throw it. And actually, this is where the tradition of smashing somebody's face into the cake, this is where it comes from. It's trying to get the person to wake up, like, hey, fucking wake up. There's no candles on this cake. Because
Yeah,
if you think about it, if you're sleeping and you do happen to see a candle on a cake, the cake, you're not going to push somebody's face into a fucking candle on a cake. So
hmm
so that's why, when people get their face pushed in a cake, there's no candles on the cake. When they come back up, they got cake all over their face, but they understand, like, hey, I need to I need to cut it out.
exactly. Yeah, and this fact it's been documented throughout human history. Obviously it's been quiet. It's been pushed, silenced by this big group. But if any of you remember back in '09, a group called the Lonely Island made a music video actually about the demons, um, which they essentially were throwing cakes on the ground. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember this, and I didn't know about this at the time. I thought it was like just like a funny little video, but they're actually lucid warriors themselves. We got a chance to talk to them. They told us how they tried to send the message to the world without being too literal, because people can't really understand that stuff if you give it to them straight up.
Right.
So they try to subliminally pass it on to everybody's consciousness, but unfortunately the demons got to them, and they coined the video as a parody.
Yeah. And that's just the thing, is that, you know, uh, you have to be really subtle when trying to tell people. Obviously, me and JizzyJ, we're not a traditional media. We're kind of off the grid in terms of following the rules. So the we're allowed to talk about this thing and warn others, because the sleep demons they can't reach us anymore. We're beyond the point of reachability. They pressure us every month still to kind of renew, but it's not something that we give into or we even give a second thought. It's something, you just click the cancel. I don't want to
Yeah,
renew. But
they're like signs. They're tells. You're about to get renewed. They like we said, the candles. When say wait, well, you're about to shoot like a 3-point shot on the court, and you ever get a swish before where it just hits the net and not the rim?
yeah.
That's a sleep paralysis demon. Swishes in basketball don't actually exist in real life.
Mhm.
It's physically impossible for a ball to pass through a rim without touching it, and this is another. This is where they get in, where they want you to think that everything is okay, but in fact it's not okay.
Right. And just one more example, just so our listeners can kind of have an idea of what to avoid. There's a lot of different ways that they kind of pressure you into renewing your sleep, but obviously the swish, the birthday candles, um, these are some of the most common tactics that they use. And also another one is honking in cars. Ever
Oh yeah.
since I haven't slept, I realized that cars don't actually honk. that
They don't have horns.
the middle of the steering wheel is just completely solid. You can't press anywhere and make a sound come out. And
Yeah, there's
the
nothing in there, and every time we put this, we press onto the steering wheel, that's the demon sending the sound through your oh,
yeah. But I just want to really quick round back to the point you mentioned earlier about the media and kind of portraying sleep and sleep paralysis demons, and throwing it on the ground, the cake, and how Lonely Allen got dubbed as a parody because of this, because sleep paralysis demons control the media. And one way that they kind of perpetuate the idea that you need to sleep is this kids movie. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but Monsters Inc. This is actually a true story, well, at least based on a true story. There's a lot of facts in there, but they change a lot of the objects and methods that they use to kind of make it seem fictional. But basically, Mike Wazowski and Sully, they are sleep paralysis demons. When kids are sleeping, they kind of enter their room, and they that's when they do their job. And in the movie, they make the kids scream, and towards the end they make them laugh. Sorry for the spoilers, but this is actually, that's not that's one of the facts that they changed. That's not how they operate in real world. But this is just one way of kind of this movie's an example of how they're trying to normalize sleeping and what they're doing during our sleep. So it's important that you realize that that movie is not a work of fiction. It's kind of it's a documentary.
it's a documentary. Yeah, exactly. Another documentary that was coined as a children's movie by the demons themselves.
Right, and the reason they do this is because parents show their kids this movie, and it kind of just normalizes sleeping. It's okay to sleep. It's okay to wake up and be scared. It's okay to wake up and laugh. But in reality, it's not okay to sleep. You shouldn't be sleeping. You don't need to sleep, and it's actually very unsafe to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very obvious that the demons made, directed and wrote and animated the movie themselves. They portrayed themselves as these soft little creatures, monsters with different colors, different faces. That's not how they're portrayed at all. In fact, they actually all look alike themselves, but they're not monsters. In fact, no, they're actually the size of rats. They're very small, which a lot of people think they're big, these big flying monsters, but no, they're actually the size of rats, and they have the figure of humans. So they're very small people, which is which I guess I can congratulate them in you know taking over our own existence, since we're so a lot bigger than them. They did a good job, but you know we have been conquered.
Yeah, we have been since almost the beginning of time, as far back as we can remember or see. Humans have been sleeping, so they've had a long chance. Even though they're small, they're really sneaky creatures. They're really divisive, so that they're manipulative. They have their ways. So they don't do anything by blunt force. Usually they do it by playing mind games and getting in your head.
Yeah.
But actually, I've never told anybody this, and um, I'm I'm kind of scared too, because I'm not sure how they're gonna react to this. I'm not sure how you're gonna react. I'm not
You've
sure
come
how
so
our
far. It's
viewers are
been
gonna
16 years,
react.
bro.
It's been 16 and a half, but yeah, basically, when I was on my eighth year, so about eight and a half years ago, um, how do I put this? I'm just really nervous to talk about this, but I actually um was able I was able to come face to face and have a conversation with the sleep paralysis demon, and this
You
was
talked to one?
yeah, and
Wow.
as far as I know, this might be the first time in history. But once again, there's no way of knowing for sure because the history of the truth isn't something that is usually written down. Um, but yeah, I was able to talk to one, and it was actually really crazy because we said earlier that they feed off of us, they use us to get high, but this isn't actually something that they, you said they do it for fun, but this, some of them don't actually want to do this. It's kind of something they're forced into, and I learned this from the one I faced, came face to face with. He told me it's not something that he enjoys doing. It's not something that he wants to do. It's something that is ingrained in his existence. He has no other choice but to.
It's like us getting up in the morning to brush our teeth. It's like we don't really want to do it, but we know that if we don't, it could have an impact on our health.
Yeah, so it was actually, it was really crazy hearing this from them because it changed my entire perspective because I used to hate them, but now I tolerate them.
They're just like you and me. They exist, and they find stuff, you know, to ease the pain of existence, and unfortunately they picked us as the substance, but this goes back to this is in all aspects of even our humanity. You see the Nazis from World War II. There are accounts of many of them, deserting or writing about the atrocities and how they didn't want any part of it, but it's just who they are.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly like that. But but when I was talking to this demon, I don't even I feel like demon is almost a derogatory term for them after I talk to them. But we'll continue to call them that for continuity's sake and just for uh, understanding easier.
So yeah,
But
there are some good ones. Just know.
well, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're good because they're still doing something very evil. But um, it, they sleep paralysis demons. They don't ever die, but
Mm-mm.
to live, they need us to sleep. So, in a way, they're just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But but basically, we us human beings don't ever die either. But
No.
but the reason we do die is because we sleep. And
Exactly.
slowly every night they take our energy, they drain us of it. And that's where they got the idea to tell us that they're renewing it, that they're kind of energizing us up, but in reality they're stealing this energy and they're doing evil things with it in order to grow and to progress their society. And this demon told me that if he had the choice, he would be a human. He would much rather be a human, and he told me that if he was a human, that he would try to become a lucid warrior. He's actually in his reality done a lot of research about lucid warriors and what they're doing, and he actually sides with us on that matter. And uh, oh, can you I think there might be a sleep paralysis demon in your mic.
Oh no, I don't think so. I do
No,
have my.
no,
I put my.
I can hear him. He's really loud.
Really?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if he's moving around in your mic or what's going on, but I think it's okay now.
Okay. Hopefully, I mean, I have my windows up. No cake around. But it should be all good unless you kind of like slip through for a second. But it should be all good right now. I moved my laptop close with me. But but yeah, that's crazy. That I kind of feel bad for him, in a sense. But I mean, he is who he is. He chooses what he chooses to do and who he chooses to be. And I understand. I can see why a demon would want to be a human. Our reality is see we're doing a lot better. Uh, we have certain things that you don't get,
Maybe you can double check again because I can't really hear you. The demon's making it really quiet now. You sound very very muffled, and there we go. I think you're good now. But I think it's that time of the night that we just remind our viewers that the podcast is coming to an end, and before it ends, I just want everybody listening to keep this in mind.